So when willingness shows up, it's not just I went and practiced it in the place where I wanted people to think well of me and I wanted to have good relationships. It needs to show up in the places that you aren't thinking about it needing to show up. Like, when your mom calls, when you are, uh, you know, going to the dentist with the kids, when you are going on a date night. I have given couples in my counseling room the homework of needing a date night and giving them some material like this is what you need to do on your date night. And so often what happens is that they go on a date unwilling. It's obligatory. It's Devin told us to, or I guess we have to do this. And that attitude shows up and it's felt, and so it hinders the progress. It hinders the ability to, again, going back to some other things, to be open to this going well, to take responsibility for yourself, to tell the truth, because it's like, oh, this person's unwilling, so they already have an attitude. And
Right.
unwillingness looks a lot
Right.
like a wall
Right.
that's up. And so the the sneaky part of applying these is that it's always going to be in places that you think, oh, I tried it and I did good, and then you kind of let your guard down and forget about it. And I think we're called to this in the most fundamental way within the nuclear family, within the husband-wife, parent-child relationships first, and that does branch out into other relationships as well.
So, and that perception of it's easy to do this in relationships where other people show up obliging to you. It's easy to keep it in that context. And biblically, it does talk about, but what credit is there in that? And doing things for people that are nice to you versus doing things to people that are not nice to you with the purpose that they may be saved or that they're being built up closer to God, glorifying God. So it's so easy when people are doing it to us, but so often we're not bringing that because of past hurt, because they didn't treat me the way that they should have treated me in the past. I've tried before and failed. Marriage is a really good example of that. It doesn't mean that we don't bring some hurt. It means we don't give up. It's like we know that there are hard things that we have overcome, and because we've overcome them, there's a deeper relationship there. There's a deeper purpose and closeness and intimacy that is there than somebody that if you just dropped your current spouse and you went out and found somebody that you thought was shinier and brighter, you don't have that history of accomplishment of what that person invested in you, you invested in them. You can see those better things in them. And what I'm saying is that no matter what relationship you're in, bring this attitude and see how it changes things. If you make yourself principled, I'm going to practice the principle of being obliging, and I may have been showing up not so well. So you're a kid in a family that shows up for work day or chores outside or something like that. And instead of being like dragging your feet, hum, drum, glum, whatever it might be, you say, you know what, today I'm showing up ready and willing. And that willingness brings energy that everybody feeds off of. I would even relate it to the fruit of the Spirit, which we've mentioned before. Fruit of the Spirit seems to be often about not what you're just producing, it's what other people can feed off of. And so if you're joyful, more people are joyful. So
Yes.
you're producing this, and you see that has the impact. So one of the examples is also maybe you go to work and you're like, man, they should just be grateful that I'm showing up for work. Well, you have employed people, and yes, you are grateful for that body to show up and help, but you sure know the difference between somebody with a willing attitude, a dependable attitude. Like those are the people you want to be around you, and you want to share better things with them. And can we even reflect back? Let's practice some veritas and imputability. How do we show up with God? Do we show up more that we think that we have an idea of these principles of what God tells us to do, or we actually put what God tells us to do into practice? And so you walk out in faith, kind of like, you don't know how this is going to turn out, but you believe that if he says it, then I'm going to try it. And then you find out it certainly didn't go the way you thought it would, but it certainly came out more fruitful in the end. And your relationships start feeding off of the kind of the fruit of the Spirit. So, those are some things to think about, some examples.